But that what I noticed with you with Kurupt style is see y'all guys know how to stick with a concept and y'all bring these stories to life. Like even when I first heard you on the Tales from the Hood joint, stuck strictly to the story. Like y'all mentioned Crazy K, y'all had the dark theme to it. Stick with the concept of the movie.
That was crazy, bro. Cause all that shit was an accident. You know, all that shit was an accident. It wasn't that. It wasn't like how other things happen. You know, it was like, you know, Russ, my cousin. Nobody knew how to contact him. Nobody knew it except me. You know, so you know, I got a call from this dude named Scott, SOC, and that was Grinch, homeboy. Oh, and rest in peace, Grinch. Grinch shot himself in the head a little while after we recorded the Seven from the Hood soundtrack, so we're not here no more. Grinch, you know, he called me up and he was like, "Hey, bro, it's a dude from a record company called Avatar Records, a dude named Larry Robinson. He's putting together the soundtrack with Spike Lee, and he said we got action, we could be on it, but you know, Kurupt is the hottest shit right now, and he want to know if you can talk, see if we can get him on there." And I was like, "Man, Suge Knight ain't gonna go for that, bro. You know, he's gonna say no." So we sat there for the longest, man, and tried to think of how we could use Kurupt, and so we used him. You know, we put him on there. We couldn't use him rapping on there, but he did, you know, backgrounds. He did some shit on my song, and we put him down as a producer. So that's why when you look at it, it says produced by Kurupt from the Dog Pound. But actually it was produced by two other guys besides Kurupt, and that was Overdose and Superfly did that. So, you know, the first beat they had, I didn't like it. I felt like it was whack, and I walked out the studio. I walked out on everybody. It was Snoop Dogg, Kurupt, it was Lil Malik and Big Trey D, and a couple other dudes that was there. It came to my session, and I fucking walked out. I said, "Man, if this how we got to come out, I don't like this beat. I'm not doing this shit." And they, you know, and I walked out, and it was like, "What the fuck?" And so that's how we got the beat. You know, Kurupt came. He was like, "Well, what do you want?" You know, I told him who I wanted, and I told him, you know, and we did it. So those lyrics, you know, we got the beat together, and I went back home. Grinch came over with his old English, and we laid down on our stomachs in his back house that my mom had, and we wrote our bars. I wrote the hook. I wrote the hook in the studio, and Larry Robinson was just amazed, like, "What the fuck, dog? Did that?" Like, damn. He could hear the song before we laid the song, you know. So we went in and laid it, and the shit was a success, you know. And about 3 weeks later, you know, my managers at the time, Big Boom and Kenny Mack pull up and with his long ass box. He handed it to me. He looked excited. I pulled it out. It was my first plaque. I grabbed it and I ran down the street with that motherfucker screaming and shit. And I ran. And I was running and running. I ran about 4 blocks with my plaque. I was so fucking excited, and we never looked back after that. You know, everything. You know, I received other plaques, and you know, I just never looked back. You know, my whole status on what I was doing, it went up. You know, and I'm, you know, meeting people. You know, Kurupt is hot, so I'm. You know, me and Kurupt was together every fucking day, and we was pulling up at all kind of different hotels and meeting up with people and doing shit. So, you know, half the people back in the day that I met through Kurupt because he was on so much, and I was with him every fucking day. You know, so, you know, I was brushing shoulders with everybody. You know, we was the first people in the Snoop Dogg's house. You know, when Snoop, I used to be at the when they was recording the first Chronic album. I used to give Snoop Dogg rides back to the house. He didn't have a car. He was broke. You know, it was real shit. You know, and the shit. You know, I sat there and watched that shit unfold. I seen Snoop Dogg go from rags to fucking riches. You know, and I seen his life change right fucking before my face. You know, it's a handful of niggas that seen Snoop's transformation, and I'm one of them. And he never looked back. He's actually he was actually the proof, the first proof to me that this shit could happen, and you could really become somebody in music. You know, the Snoop is a regular dude. You know, it's not. He's not. Snoop. He's a regular nigga. He's not. It ain't no Snoop Dogs, but when you're around him, he act regular. He's a cool dude. You know what I'm saying? He's not all. So to me, it was the proof that somebody from off the streets could come in, get on the mic if they are somebody, as far as they have a personality and they know how to finesse their shit. They may become somebody. You know what I'm saying? Before it was like a dream, but now it's like a mission. It can happen. So I seen a lot of shit unfold. I seen a lot of niggas get into fights. I seen a lot of niggas like big stars get into fights, and I seen a lot of shit. We used to go to Pac's house. We was at Pac's house like 3 times a week. One of his little spots. It was in Burbank in the Oakwoods. And we was there like 3 times a week playing the fucking Mortal Kombat at Pac's house. With the Sega Genesis. And that was interesting. I seen a lot of shit there, just a lot of shit. I've been around for a while, and I'm still at the top of my game. This microphone shit do not stop. And niggas think that niggas think that they can spit, but they're not really on my level like that.